Shout out to everyone watching on the live. Thank you for watching. Also, this episode will be out either this Monday or the next Monday. All right, so if you're watching that, you can go on iTunes and go check it out. You can go to SoundCloud, you can go on Google Play, wherever. And give us a review too. If you think we're popping, give us a review. It really helps. You can do the review on iTunes. Okay? So, what's going on, everybody? Boy, Joe Fucarino in the house.
This is my first one here.
Hey, you want to introduce yourself? Look, my dog, she's like,
Hi.
yeah, she's here. Jennifer's here. What does everyone know you by, though?
Jen, I would say Jen, Jennifer, Jen B, depends where I'm at. Yeah.
All right, Princess. Like,
It's okay.
Princess on. Maybe we'll get more viewers because the dog is trying to say what up. So what's up, people? So, Jen B?
Jen is fine.
Jen is fine?
Yeah.
Now, I'm just curious. I don't imagine.
At work, I'm Jen B.
Why? Is there a lot of Jens?
There's a lot of Jens, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of Jens, too. Shout out to my friend Jennifer, too. She might be watching. Jennifer NYC. What up, Princess? We're doing a podcast, okay? We're going to have to chill. You could watch from over here. There we go. You can watch from right over here. Hang on, look.
Perfect.
She's chilling.
Sounds good.
So, everybody, it is chapter 56. Chapter 56. We've come a long way.
You've come a long way. This is my first time here.
I talk about it in like third person and shit, right?
But it's pretty dope. Like, that's pretty cool. Chapter 56. How do you even keep up with that?
Bang them out. I mean, we missed a couple weeks here and there. Like, we should have been on more because we made a year on Thanksgiving.
Oh, wow.
So,
congratulations.
If you do it, we kind of missed some here and there, some weeks, but, I mean, yeah, just there. We've had a lot of crazy topics, too.
Yeah, I've heard.
They always think I'm bugging.
No,
half the time people think I'm bugging. And we've had the topics on polygamy. We've had the topics.
Oh, I heard that one, yeah.
That one's cool. That one, people were killing me on that one.
Yeah.
Last week we did one on finance tips. That was just me, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I did one on finance tips. We did another one recently that was really cool. I had my boy Ray here. And it was called No Pressure, No Diamonds.
Ooh.
It was really, really interesting. I like that episode. My friend Ray, he's a really, really dope entrepreneur. So what's up? What you do today?
Not much. School was canceled. Stay home.
School was canceled?
Yeah.
Over this?
Over this. That's some BS.
It didn't even snow.
Not at all.
I ain't gonna lie though. I was talking so much shit. I hate this shit. Because nobody salted. I didn't salt either.
I'd rather do regular snow than this because it's kind of slushy and I'm not that
Yeah, no, I almost busted my ass like 40 times. Anybody that knows me knows I fall at least twice a year.
No.
You're good? You don't
I don't want to talk about it because I'm going to jinx it.
Why? You're good? You don't really fall?
Listen, I don't want to talk about it because I'll jinx it.
Hey, you're going to jinx it. When was the last time you fell?
In high school? I want to say? No, I'm not. And it definitely had to be like sooner than that, like closer. I think I fell in college. I'm not sure. I don't keep up with how many times I bust my ass. I'm trying to just fall and forget it. Keep it going.
I keep track of that shit. I fall too much. Me and Ice don't get along. I don't know why the fuck I'm still living here. But, so you want to tell the listeners about yourself, about Jen B?
I don't know. What do they want to know?
Whatever.
I'm 25. I'll be 26 in a few weeks. I'm ready for Botox.
You're
ready for Botox. I've been ready since I turned 25. I'm a student.
Hold up. How Botox? Like, why?
Because the skin is just not the same. And I work in an industry where your looks matter. That's the first thing people see, actually. So you have to, like, look good.
Nah, Botox, that shit is all fake.
I don't know. It's great because, you know what? We're talking about a topic like that today.
Know your worth is...
No, it has nothing to do with it, but, like, when you know your worth, a lot of people have to feel good. And they have to look good to feel good. When you feel good, you do good, everything's good.
Yeah, that Botox shit, though. You think about that. You're young.
By the time I'm 16, I'm going to be looking like right now. I don't care how. I'm going to pass by and probably going to be like, oh my God, what's that plastic smell? It's germ.
Sure.
I'm serious.
That should be the title of this episode. What's that plastic smell?
Johnny. That's Johnny.
No, it's going to be just a question mark. That's funny. That's
going to be me. Goals.
No plastic. All right, just think about it before you do that, because that's a...
No, yeah, it's definitely... I mean, Botox is not necessarily, or fillers is not necessarily permanent, but still, like, it can definitely ruin the skin, but...
You're trying to get Botox everywhere, or like...
No, just certain areas that I feel like it needs like a little tune-up. Like, right here, I feel like when I'm wearing makeup, I get like this harsh line. It's not cute.
That fucking shit. Be careful with the nose. You don't fuck with the nose.
Well, I'm gonna go with someone. The day I do it, I'm gonna go to someone good.
I'll talk about it.
I don't know.
Nah, don't do that. Don't do that for real. Like, just anyone that's listening, comment what you think. I think we need people's opinion on this Botox thing. I want to know. Princess, see, no Botox.
If I could give my dog Botox, no, I wouldn't. I would want him to have a say in whatever she does. That would be hilarious.
That's really fucking funny. Imagine a dog walking around with like some big ass fucking arms or some shit. Or like a dog on like fucking steroids.
That'd be hilarious. I mean, some people do crazy things.
So you're 25, 26, about to be. When's your birthday?
April 22nd, Earth Day.
April 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
That's my best friend's birthday.
Mm-hmm. Taurus.
Yeah,
Team Taurus all the way.
That's my best friend's birthday. That's the one I was just on the phone with.
And I bet you he's very loyal.
He is, but the only beef I have with him, I tell him this all the time, he gives too much tough love.
Oh, that's us, all the way. Tauruses are like that, yeah.
For real, and I try to tell him, like, it's a trait that
you felt like, get the fuck out. You good?
Yeah, no, not even that. I'm lucky if I get the you good. Like, I love him.
That's how we are.
Shout out to Anthony, but, yeah. Like, that's the only thing I really, really know about the Taurus. Very, very, very loyal.
We're very loyal. We're very stubborn. That's what we're known for, being stubborn.
A little bit. What I tell him, he is too, but if he listening, he knows. I think they're a little materialistic.
We're very materialistic. Yeah, we are.
He denies it.
No, yeah. You have to be realistic to yourself.
He denies it.
We're very about stability. Like, we need to be stable.
Yeah.
Financially, we have to be stable in everything. Like, we're not the type that are going to be moving around. No, we like things to be stable. We get tired of the material part, but not of people in our lives.
Yeah, of course.
So, and we like to spend others' money, but we don't like to spend ours. We do not spend our money.
That's fun.
Yeah. We're like big time savers.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. Now they are good, really good with their money. They are very loyal.
I mean, you know, little traits.
Like I said, just little traits. Like the tough love is definitely a big trait for Tauruses. Also, like I said, the materialistic thing, like you gotta have the hottest this, you know, like stuff like that. It's definitely a trait. There's nothing wrong with it, but just, you know, every sign has their trait. I'm a Capricorn. My shit just passed recently.
Yeah, happy belated.
Thank you. 28 years old.
Oh wow.
She's like, damn, you heard the way she said, oh wow, right? She's like, fuck. I'm getting close to 30, dirty 30s.
Listen, I don't want to think about it. All I know is that I want to look good for 30. Like, I want to look good for 30. That's all I need. I just need to look good for 30. Like, if by then I don't look how I desire, straight to Dr. Miami. Oh no, it's gonna be like straight plastic surgery, everything done.
It's the same shit. They all the same.
Like, yeah, but Dr. Miami kills it. He's really good. He's making great money.
You don't need all that. Now, what do you desire though? Because you say I want the body I desire.
Well, I didn't really talk about the body. You know, I don't actually mind my body at all.
What are you saying? Like, what do you want?
I just want to be slimmer. I want to be back in my high school body. Okay. That's it. Yeah, and I'm not that far away, but.
You know what I'm saying? What's your goals?
I'm lazy. I don't really go to the gym. I mean, I eat pretty healthy because I'm a vegetarian.
You went recently. You told me you went to Retro.
Yeah, but just because I'm a member don't mean I go.
Hey. Princess don't love you.
They got all my money.
Alright, but always the best way though. If you want those results, you gotta be in there. You gotta
Definitely, I agree with you.
You're a vegetarian. That's the first start. However, though, you can be like unhealthy vegetarian, they say.
Yeah, you definitely can. Really I think you should switch your pounds.
Yeah, this one's ass. Right? Yeah, so I like my personal one, but
you definitely could be a bad vegetarian. Shit, that's been me for the past few weeks.
Save that.
Why you saved it? You should have saved it.
get too much action anyway, but this one usually is a little bit better. Facebook sometimes is actually good action.
Too. Yeah, I love Facebook.
See, Facebook I'll go back. I was actually trying to get fucking do the camera on this shit. I computer, but the camera wasn't working. That would have been a lot better. So, damn, just throwing your phone at me.
That was not on purpose.
Anyone watching live, y'all seen that? Shout out to 15 somebody watching. Okay, so you're 25.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
I'm a makeup artist.
You're a makeup artist, okay.
I work for somewhat of a big store. No, it's actually a really big store.
It's a really popular store.
Yeah,
right?
very high volume.
Okay.
I work for Sephora.
Sephora, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sephora, if you want to pay us, you want to give us any sponsorship, let me know. Even though we could definitely give you guys some shout outs. Alright? So how long have you been there?
I've been at Sephora for almost 2 years. Sephora, yeah. But before that, I was in Estee Lauder right next door.
Okay.
So, yeah, I've been at Sephora for almost 2 years. That's just killing it. You know, it's a great company to work for, I must say.
Hold up. I'm going to do this, the comment here. Chapter.
Oh, that's a nice collar that dog has on.
Thank you, Steph. I appreciate it.
Oh, thanks. She is so sweet. That is very nice of her to say. And I'm over here doubting myself with this 10 pounds per camera ads.
Yes. What up, Vanessa? Can't type over here. There we go. There we go.
Perfect.
Princess is all trying to be on the live again.
So what is the reason you got me sitting here?
Well, hold on. We gotta go back to this. So you're a makeup artist now.
Mm-hmm.
You just work at the store. But
Mm-hmm.
what I want to know is, you ever thought about doing it? Like, you have your own business or what?
Yeah, I sort of somewhat freelance.
Okay.
Because of school and work, it's hard to actually find, because, you know, what happens with freelancing is that you have to give up the free time you have. And because I go to school and I work, I don't have a lot of free time. So if I was to freelance with every free time I have, I would have really have no time for me or my social life. Yeah, so I try to balance it out. Like, let's say that I don't work as often a week, maybe I'll freelance that week or something. If one of my clients really needs me, then always. I never turn down my clients. Because I do have people that have followed me ever since I started doing makeup when I wasn't that good, so.
Okay, so yeah. People, how long have you been doing it? Like?
Well, I've been doing makeup professionally for 3 years. Okay. As an amateur, altogether, professionally an amateur, like 5 years. Okay. I started actually putting my hands on people, you know, makeup-wise.
Hey, putting your hands on people, I get it.
Makeup-wise, about 5 years ago.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you're still here, but someone asked for your IG.
It's Jen B. Artistry.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Well, I'll send it to you. I think Steph asked for it. I'll send you it over. So you do the makeup, you do the freelance. Now, do you want to expand it and eventually not work as a freelance?
Yeah, eventually I want to just have my own business and do exactly what I'm doing. I'm starting international business and I want to be like, you know, all over the place with this. Like, if I can stay with Sephora and be like a pro artist, I'll be cool with that. But eventually I do want to own my own business.
You want your own shit, right? So then keep it up with that freelance.
Mm-hmm,
definitely. You know what I mean? Like, the freelance is going to take you there. So.
Once I'm out of school, I have big plans for my business to dedicate myself a little bit more. But for right now, like, I just feel like I already have my associates. I already have my bachelor's. Because if I'm going to own a business, I definitely want to know how to run it.
Yeah, no, I'm with that. So what are you going to school for?
International business.
International business? Mm-hmm. So what different courses are they having you take?
Well, I wasn't a business major. I wasn't a regular business major.
So what some classes?
I take like international marketing, international economics overall can go into international topics. But I'll take like international management, things like that. What else? Accounting. they have me taking basically regular things, but there's certain things that is specifically for international. Right.
Yeah, at least that's good. So you're able to work in other countries. Because a lot of people forget. Also, anyone that's listening to this, I know a lot of we do a lot of entrepreneurial type stuff. So I have a lot of entrepreneurs that are listening to this podcast. A lot of times, just don't focus your mind and your energy to just the United States.
Right.
You know, people really forget that there's a
whole new world.
There's so many countries that they don't have nearly as many things as that, you know, we have over here, and you could really start your own shit over there. Like,
and also, like, there's a lot of countries that work with the United States. You know, they can make our products and things like that. We still have to have people from the United States representing and fighting for our money to get it to the lowest price we can.
Yeah.
So that's when someone that studies international business goes ahead. There's buildings that we have in other countries, you know, properties that you have to know how to manage it. And
exactly.
They send people. They're not gonna let someone from another country manage their stuff. They're gonna definitely send people that they believe are prepared to do that. So it doesn't only have to just be like to own your business or something along those lines. Like, I could easily get a government job with that degree.
Yeah, exactly.
I could work for a company.
Yeah, at least that they know you're able to do both. You know, and you're flexible. But I just noticed a lot of people forget, people in business, they just forget, like, oh, okay, it's just United States. Like, you're just boxing yourself in. Like, I always try to tell people, think bigger. You know, I covered that. If anyone's into that topic, thinking bigger, listen to chapter 3. Me and my friend Chris did a whole segment on just thinking bigger. Like,
that's crazy how you remember every chapter, what every topic is about.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well,
dedication. That's dedication.
No, I mean, it's, you know, you put in work, and this is, you know, at the end of the day too, I do pretty much everything. I do the editing, so I listen to the podcast like twice after I record it to edit it. I make the artwork. I promote it all week. It's all here. But chapter 3, we did a segment on Think Bigger. So it's just an example. Like, if, like what she said, like, that's really, really dope. You want to do this makeup. Hey, is that you?
Yeah.
Hey. So,
I am my own model.
I like your style. So when people, you know, they think business, that's great and all, but you don't just do it in the United States. Like you said, makeup, like that's really, really dope. You know, you go to a country and they're really not, and also your competition is lower too. That's what a lot of people forget.
No, you know what's crazy is that's really not the case. No, it's really not the case. If you think about certain brands, and this is what I love about going to school and not just being like the traditional makeup artist that's just focused on the artistry part of it, like, because I go to school for this, I get like the bigger picture. A lot of the products that certain brands sell, they're not being manufactured here in the United States.
Oh yeah, fine, almost none of them.
Sephora, no, a lot of them are. Sephora collection, for example, it's made in Paris. Because we're owned by Louis Vuitton. A lot of people don't know that, but Sephora is owned by LVMH. And
Louis too, you could sponsor the podcast as well too.
That'll be some good sponsor.
If you're listening, I won't ask for much. I just gotta tell you.
That's true.
Never know. That could be that one person that's listening.
It could be that one person, absolutely. It's true. You never know who you're gonna meet or things like that. Like, for example, if I wanted to have both the job with Sephora and working for Louis Vuitton, that wouldn't be possible.
Yeah, you have to pick one or the other, right?
Yeah, because it's under the same umbrella.
Okay. Now, Sephora is like pretty much top notch, right?
Yeah, I would say.
What's the next? Is there a bigger one? Like a bigger store?
Absolutely not. We're number one.
Number one, right? Mm-hmm. Like for real though.
For real, I'm being serious.
Yeah, there's really nothing else.
Ultra tries, but they're not.
No, they're like the cheaper version, but they're legit.
They carry a lot of the things that we carry. It's just that they are that place where you can find drugstore and high end, but you can never find something like Giorgio Armani at Ulta. Only we carry. Well, I don't know. No, we don't only carry that. There's other companies like Nordstrom's and things like that carry them, but they're starting to carry like MAC and things like that. So they're a good store. They're alright. They ain't no Sephora though.
Acting like Sephora's her business.
It is. They pay me.
Nah, I mean, like, you know what I mean. But at the end of that's really dope. But I was just curious though. Are they like, they're like the top notch? Like, there's really
I would say definitely.
There's probably nothing legit.
I can't think of anything because we're like a Macy's. We carry the stuff, right?
You guys are like a top, like, competitor.
We are within ourselves. Like, if you are working at Sephora Garden State Plaza, you're probably looking at numbers from Short Hills or something like that, just to compare yourself and make sure that you are doing. We look at it by districts, you know.
Yeah.
So even within our own district, we want to be number one in our district.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And we are number one in our district. Sephora Garden State Plaza is number one in our district.
Garden State Plaza is like.
We are a $12.5 million store. That's how much we make in a year.
Hit me off with some of that. Just like I said, shout out to Sephora again. We'll put your logo all over everything, alright? I'm with it. Let me know.
To make $100,000 on one day for us is nothing. We've done it. We do it all the time.
Oh man, I'm about to open a makeup store. For real, I'm about to start selling makeup.
I wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't blame you. I really wouldn't. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of loss.
Have you ever thought about that side of it? Like, you do the makeup, but have you ever thought about, because you probably know now where to get the
making
makeup.
My own line? I have thought about it. I have. There's a lot of pressure when you make your own line. So I've kind of like thought about it, like, okay.
Put on the back burner?
Yeah, I put it on the back burner, you know, maybe a few lipsticks here and there, but how many lipsticks don't we not have in the market? But I'm more interested in owning. It is good profit, depends how well known you are. Because you could easily just sell to your family members. Yeah. And you can, you know, not everybody makes it to the point where they have a gondola at Sephora, you know.
Yeah, of course.
But Sephora is, you know, they take care of their own, I would say.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are very popular in the industry right now that started at Sephora or that started at a MAC. So it's pretty cool that now they, you know, get carried at Sephora. Pretty dope.
All right. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. And besides all that, anything else you like to do in a regular?
I'm very versatile. I like to smoke hookah. No, I'm kidding. that's not the most interesting thing about me.
That's funny. Nah, she'll be on a snap smoking a hookah.
I do. I love to smoke hookah. I love me some hooks.
I don't do hookah. I don't get anything out of it.
I respect that.
I got done. I just didn't get anything. And it's cool. The smoke was cool.
Yeah.
That's about it. You know what I'm saying?
It all depends too, because I have a lot of like Arabic friends, and I know it's like very, you know, but it's that area of the world is really where it started. It originated from there. And when you smoke that hookah, like kind of the original, you can never smoke the original. You have to like travel there.
Yeah, it's
different though. Yeah. It's different. You taste the flavor a little bit more. It's a different flavor. It's pretty cool stuff. I like to explore a lot of culture things. Like I respect people's cultures a lot, and I like to learn a lot about someone's culture. Like I'll ask 1,010 questions. I like to hang out with friends. I like to hang out with family. Family time is everything. What else? I don't know. I do pretty much anything. Like I like to explore different things. I don't mind trying. I just like being active.
Alright, that's pretty good though. To tell the people again where to follow you. I'm gonna switch to live, but let them know like all your social media and stuff.
Well, Jenb.artistry on Instagram and on what else do I have? I have Instagram, I have Facebook, I have Twitter. So I'm Jenb.artistry on Instagram and Twitter. And then on Facebook, I had just created a page, but I just go through my personal page, yeah.
But you just made a page?
Mm-hmm. For Facebook, yeah. A business page, yeah. I definitely did.
Yeah, that always helps.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have a lot of people. The trick with that is you gotta have all your friends share it.
Mm-hmm.
And if all your friends share it, you could really do some damage with that. You gotta get everyone to share it.
You know, Facebook kicked me out of their live.
Why?
Because I was playing music in the background.
Oh, yeah, they do that shit to me too.
I don't know how to fix it.
They cut me off for like a couple of days and then they brought me back.
Oh, okay. Well, Facebook, bring your girl back.
That's fun.
I ain't do shit to y'all.
Yeah, just because you were listening to some music, right?
Mm-hmm. It was in the background. And they told me they were going to cut me off. At least they weren't rude and cut off my live. You know, they let me finish the live and then they cut me off.
That's funny.
Because sometimes I'll do my makeup on live. Because everybody wants to know like how I do my makeup, and I don't ever mind sharing tips because I learned pretty much everything on my own. So you know, I came a long way. So I want to spread the knowledge.
You should make a podcast.
No, don't give me another idea. How do you do makeup on a podcast?
No, you can do makeup tips on a podcast. Like teach them. So when they're driving, they can be listening to the tips and go home to do it. We'll talk after this. I know the tricks. I got you. There's always other ways. So know your worth. We can hear you. No, we can't. But there we go. All right. So, what do you think when you hear "Know Your Worth"? What's the first? When I told you, because you asked me what the topic is, I figure I'd tell you. Usually, I don't tell people. Most of the time, I tell you. I just say, you just gotta come here. We were talking about anything.
It was about the same thing, because I'm like, know your worth. Like, that could mean so much.
Yeah, so much. Well, exactly. That's kind of, so what was kind of the first thing you think when you hear that?
Self-love. Okay. That was the first thing that popped into my head. Yeah, self-love.
Like talk about
just loving yourself. Genuinely loving yourself. And knowing how to, the good and the bad about you, knowing yourself more than anybody else. It's a little hard to get to know yourself. People think it's easy, but it's not.
It's not.
It's tough to know yourself.
Especially because, you have so much shit we got to do on a daily basis. I say a lot of times on here, it's like, you work, you do shit, as you get older, you got bills, you probably have kids. It just, as life goes on, like, you don't really have that time to kind of get in tune with yourself.
Right. And you know what it is as well, is that when you know yourself, you have to also know that you have flaws, and you have to be okay with those flaws, and you have to learn how, the same way that you love people for their flaws, you have to love yourself for your flaws, and know that it's okay, you're not perfect, and you're never going to be perfect, and there's nothing wrong with not being perfect.
Yeah, of course.
And I think that all ties back up to self-worth, because if you love yourself, you'll know what you deserve and what you don't. So when you tell somebody, oh, you don't deserve that, it's not worth it. You're not worth that, It's because you're seeing them with love, and you're like, you know what, you don't deserve that, you're a good person. But when it comes to like doing it for ourselves, a lot of people have a hard time. I struggled with that myself, and I'm still certain things that I just feel like, okay, I gotta get better at that. But I've learned how to admit my flaws, and that helps. It helps a lot.
Yeah, and then when you do that too, it kind of helps you work on them too. Because you can kind of say, hey, if it's a flaw, okay, I know I'm not even going to be perfect, but how can I improve it? Can I improve it? Is there a way to improve it?
Should I improve it?
Yeah, exactly.
Because some flaws just need to stay exactly what they are.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, I'm loud. I'm never going to be low. I'm never going to be a low-speaking person. I'm always going to be loud. And you have to love me like that. Like.
Yeah. No, you're right. That's not bad. That's not,
it could be a flaw. Because you have to think about it in certain situations. Like, sometimes you can make a person feel uncomfortable with your personality, right? And you have to understand that you're always going to be you. You're always going to be you, and you have to love you no matter if the rest of the world doesn't. Because the moment that you love you, you'll be like, you know what? I don't deserve this. I could walk away from this situation, or I deserve better. And I think that that's very important, and it really doesn't. People don't pay as much attention to it nowadays. They really don't think it. That's why there's so many issues in the world with everything. Some people are sitting in jobs that they don't love.
Yeah, of course.
Because they're sitting in a job working, doing exactly what they love, but they're not getting paid enough, and they won't say anything about it.
Yeah, that's a big part about knowing your worth. Like jobs, we'll kind of get into that. Like, people get so fixed on the shit that they have to stay at a job for so long. Like just because you've been at the job, I gotta stay at this job, I'm gonna change jobs. Like at the end of the day, you're just comfortable. You're kind of wasting. Like if you know your worth and you know you deserve more. Also especially in this area we live in. Some parts of the world, maybe you're making the best that you can make, but especially around here, there's so much opportunity.
Right.
That a lot of people forget. And yeah, we're in rough times and shit, but this job's out there.
There is.
You just have to think outside your box and go back to thinking bigger.
And if you're sitting in a job that you feel like, I love this job, I don't want to leave this job, but I'm not making enough money to make my needs. If I was getting paid more and you feel like you qualified to pay more, you have to speak up about it and say, listen, I'm worth more than that. My job is worth, like, my job quality is worth more than that. I deserve more money. I left the job I loved. I took a risk, and I left to Sephora. I didn't even have a year in the job that I liked, and I loved working for that company, and it was a dream company since I was a little girl. I always used to tell myself, what if I ever end up working for Estee Lauder? Such a big, respected company in the makeup industry. Simply because they own so much shit. They own, like, everything. And on top of that, like, this woman really created her empire. She's still making money from her grave. It's insane. And I left that job going to Sephora, not knowing if I was ever going to be this amazing makeup artist, not knowing anything. And I left simply because I was doing something I loved, but I wasn't getting paid enough. Yeah. And I took a leap for money, yeah. But you know what? It was the best change I ever made. Because I really do love where I'm at now. I really do. But if I had to leave for a better well-being, for better goals, I would do it.
Of course, yeah.
It would hurt me, but I would do it.
That's why I was asking you, like, is there a competition? Like, that's why I was asking you that type of stuff.
The only competition right now for me is a Sephora with another Sephora. Switching another location, leaving my home. Yeah.
Or your own, you already started creating your own business.
Right.
Stuff like that.
I wouldn't leave Sephora unless it was stable, but...
Yeah, exactly. You know,
but there's people that do that, and I admire people that do that. They'll leave their jobs to really chase their dreams. Like, they'll really leave something that's stable to follow their dreams, and I admire that, and sometimes I wish I could do that, but I can't.
Yeah, no, you always gotta have that. You always gotta have that base coming in, because, you know, there's a lot of people listening on here, like a lot of, you know, like I said, entrepreneurs and stuff like that. You always need that base. You know, you need something that's just gonna get you that money, obviously, until you blow. Or it depends. Like, I feel like if you're a couple, you know, and let's just say you got a man, right, and he's doing pretty well, you know, and you're like, hey, you know what? I want to start this business. If you support me, I'm gonna go full time with it. Right. So we could because I guarantee if you were to go full time with it, you could obviously make some changes and some results a lot faster than doing it part time. So if you have something like that, I feel like you could do it. As long as it's a relationship type thing, you got a man, he's willing to hold it. Someone has to hold down the fort.
But it's funny that you mentioned relationship, because a lot of the things that go into self-worth, there's a really big issue with relationships.
Like what?
The fact that a lot of people are staying in a relationship, they're not happy.
Oh yeah, there's millions.
And they have, the self-worth is completely lost. Yeah. You are not able to say, well, I don't deserve this treatment that this person's giving me. I need to walk away. I know there's something better out there. Yeah. We kind of get used to people sometimes. Sometimes we settle. But like, well, maybe I won't find anything else. So, you know, I might as well just stay here. And that's such a bad mentality.
Yeah, it's hard, but you're wasting valuable time. Like, I mean, your time
is... Forget about the time. Because I know people bring that up a lot, but you're wasting yourself.
Yeah.
You know, exactly. your self-worth. You're wasting it because, you know, you're worth so much and you're settling for so little, you know? So to me, that's crazy. And we all been there. You know, we all been there. We might all be there. It's an easy trap to fall under. And it's sad to call it a trap because that's not really what a relationship should be called or anything like that. But it goes either way for the man and the woman. I never sit here and like, oh, defend just women because...
Oh, no, it goes both sides.
Some men are in a relationship with a person they don't want to be in.
Yeah. But you get, like I said, you start forgetting about, you know, your worth and you just feel like this is it. You know, you feel like this is the best that you can get. Mm-hmm. But deep down, you really have to know yourself. And once you know yourself, you kind of will know what you're worth. And you'll know, you know, what you should be with it. Who you should be with and who you shouldn't be with.
Right.
You know, and
even in friendships.
Oh yeah, you know, 100%. There's a lot of friendships that people have, and you just have it because you just have it. Or you know, there's a lot of time. Like just because you've been cool with somebody for 10 years, they're ass. You know, and it's just not worth your time, not worth your energy. It's just not. Just because you know, sometimes you have to know when to kind of cut things off.
Right. So say, you know what, I need to walk away from this friendship, from this relationship. It could be something with family. Self-worth is really about it, like it says in the words, self. Yeah. It's focused on yourself. You have to stand there and say, you know what, I'm better than this, I'm worth more. And I deserve this and I deserve that. And not settle for anything that's less than that. And it sounds hard, but it's realistic, you know? You have to be realistic to yourself and you have to be realistic to life. Like, sometimes you will meet people that are not worth shit. But they're not worth, and I wouldn't say worth shit, but you know what?
You. I mean, it's just not,
right,
it's not compatible with you. I mean, it might be a great fit for somebody else. Like, back to a job. Whatever you're getting paid, that might be great for somebody else. It might be, or honestly, some things are great starting points. Sometimes
I used to work on McDonald's.
It happened,
and it was the worst 3 weeks of my life.
But guess what, though? You did it.
And I left real fast. But I've known, and there I learned to appreciate education. I learned to appreciate the fact that I had the opportunity to, and it's not the job. It's really not the job. Because I feel like if you're doing anything legal and you're making money, that's nothing to knock,
More power to you.
Right. But it's the way they treat you. It's the amount of money that they pay you versus the amount of work that they put you to do, sometimes the way that they speak to you. And that happens in any job, but I experienced it firsthand in a fast food restaurant place. So I was like, listen, I don't need this. And I left. Yeah. And I didn't have a job when I left. But I was young. I was living with my mom. My mom is always willing to help me out.
So you were able to, but you still knew that you kind of, you wanted better. I mean, like, with things, you still have to be realistic. Obviously, at like an age like, we are today, you can't, do things like that. You have to always have different plans. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, like I said, the job, just because you're doing good, whatever, you could always do better. There's so much room, job-wise. There's so many jobs out here. You just really have to look. And also, you have to kind of play play it a little bit. There might be something that you really, really love, and you can make more money, you're not thinking about it.
Right.
And just see what's out there. You never know what you could fall in love with. You never know what you could be really good at. You don't have to just kind of box yourself into just, one thing.
Right. There's so many things you can do out there, especially like if you don't really have anybody depending on you. It's a lot easier to explore, because when you have somebody else depending on you, it's a little harder. For you to be like, well, you know what, I'm gonna get up and get another job, because exactly. What if that doesn't work?
Well, you have to be like set. You always have to kind of back to last week. The finance tips. You gotta have something saved, and if you do those things, even with wherever you're at, maybe you could afford to have some wiggle room.
Right.
You can give yourself some wiggle room. And also, it doesn't have to be like a 1, 2, 3 thing. You don't gotta say, oh, I know I'm much better. Fuck this job, leave. No. You can kind of give yourself a goal and say, hey, you know what? This is not for me. I know I'm worth more. So, you could make steps to try. Number one, because a lot of times you can know your worth, but you got to ask yourself, am I showing, let's just say a job, am I showing my boss what I'm worth? Maybe it's all in my head. Maybe it's just here, or maybe I'm just not, like, I know I'm worth it, but I'm not putting it out there, and I'm not doing it.
Right.
Because that happens to a lot of people. A lot of people, they could be, have Harvard in their fucking brain, but they're just not letting it out. It sounds crazy.
It's true.
But I think so. I think first of all, you have to kind of do some self-assessment and realize, okay, you know what you're worth, but are you putting it out there? Okay.
Self-assessment is good for everything.
Yeah.
For everything, like you have to self-assess everything honestly. Like it's hard to step out of yourself and judge yourself.
But you have to, because
you have to.
You are the one who knows everything. Like nobody knows, like everything.
Right.
You know what I mean about
I self-assessed myself before coming here.
That's good.
Listen, I'm very emotional, and that could be a good thing and that could be a bad thing. I would say it's a flaw and also something that it's a good quality. I'm very dramatic. Very dramatic. I'm very dramatic.
That's a little bit of Taurus.
Absolutely. I'm stubborn. I'm stubborn like no other. When I say I'm going that way, I'm going that way no matter what.
Hey, Walt Bauer. Hold up. I'm trying to see if I can get him in here. So you said you're stubborn? That's stubborn. That's a little bit of a Taurus trait too. That's a little bit of a Taurus.
But I come from a good place, so sometimes like something can happen, and at the moment I overreact. So when I overreact, I self-assess and like, was that reaction really necessary, John? And then I realized I could have handled it different. So then I try the next time that I'm in a situation like that, I just say, you know what? Let me bring it down a notch. I don't have to be so dramatic.
But, hey, at least you realize, okay. That's fine.
I have to be realistic to myself, you know? It happens.
Now you have to be realistic.
You have to. That's the only way that you know, if you're doing something right, if you're not doing something right. I'm aware of my flaws. Like I said, I have a lot of self-love. I do. I love myself. I love myself, and it sounds cocky when you say that. Oh, I love myself. No, it does, really does. Like, maybe not to you, but it does to people. Sounds like, oh my gosh, she's so into herself. But I feel like it's important for me to have my self-love and for me to maintain my self-love, because then that means that the people that I'm around and I'm telling them I love them, I genuinely love them because I already love myself. So I know what love looks like and what it feels like. And I feel like also self-love helps you with self-worth, because when you love yourself, you would look at yourself in a situation and say, you know what, I love myself too much. You become your own protector. Yeah, you're like, you know what, I can't do this. I gotta withdraw myself from this situation. It's not gonna be worth it. It's gonna hurt me in the long run and things like that. But I feel like you have to get to a certain extent. Growing up, I was never looking like the traditional girl. I was a little, curvier than other girls. I developed a little bit as far as physically. I was not the prettiest teenager. I was not pretty at all as a teenager. And I was around a lot of little pretty teenagers, and kids are mean and they're bullies. Yeah. And
almost every one of them.
Right. So growing up in Washington Heights, we didn't call it bullying. You were getting picked on and you needed to be the bigger person and just get over it.
Yeah, of course.
Right. So what I always told myself, I don't know, it was just within me. I think that my mom helped out a lot too. I didn't have the straight hair that every other girl around me had. I have curly hair, and I used to straighten my hair to make it curly, to make it straight. And my mom used to tell me all the time, your hair is beautiful. I love the way that your hair curls and things like that. And I feel like having that around, and having brothers helps out a lot too, because brothers are tough. They're tough.
How many you have?
That I live with or that I really have?
Yeah.
I have 7 brothers and 2 sisters.
7 brothers, 2 sisters.
But I only grew up with 3 of them.
Okay.
From mother's side.
That's still a good amount.
And they are tough cookies. If something doesn't look good on me, they'll be like, sis, take that off. Sure. And they always make fun of me for something. And I feel like that's where I got my, thick skin. I can joke around with a person and take a joke. I don't take a lot of things personal, but like I said, I'm also very emotional. So I like to be in an atmosphere where people are happy and things like that. And when I see someone that doesn't have self-love or self-worth, it hurts me. I don't know why I take it so personal. I'm like, but why if you, I see the good things in you. Exactly. Why can't you see the good things in you?
Alright, with that, what could you recommend, or what kind of advice would you give someone that maybe doesn't feel like they know their worth, or how to find their worth, or even just to get into that zone? What do you feel?
I feel like what happens is that people focus too much on their flaws. Oh, I don't like this about me. Even physically. Not even just overall. Yeah. Physically. They're like, oh, well, I have this also. I have this and I wish I had that. And we're always constantly comparing ourselves to the next person. If I can tell, which I tell this to people that tell me, oh, I wish I had the confidence you have. It's like, you can too. Because you're looking at me, you're saying, I wish. That shouldn't be in your vocabulary. You should just say, I do have that confidence. I love myself. And just look at yourself in the mirror and say all the things you like about yourself, not all the things you don't like. Because no matter what, we're unique. Each person is unique. You have to have something that somebody else doesn't. Whether it's, physically even, we don't all look the same. Right, everybody's different. So you just have to focus on what are the things I like about myself. What wouldn't I give up? If I was somebody else, what wouldn't I give up? Or why would I look at that person and be like, oh my God, I wish I had. And just stand in the mirror, and that is that person, your reflection, Physically, what do you like? What do you like yourself as a person? I know I can tell you, look, I'm very dramatic, I'm very emotional, but I also love hard. And I'm very loyal. Yeah. And when I tell you I'm there for you, I'm there for you. And I always tell this to people, if there's one thing I do know how to do, is be a good friend. So what is it that you know how to do that maybe very few other people in the world know how to do it? Because, of course, you're not going to sit yourself in a bubble and say, I'm the only one that can do this. There's other people out there, too, that can do the same thing.
What you're good at.
Right.
And that's part of what you're worth. So if you embrace that type of stuff and you know that type of stuff, you're just going to remember it.
Right. I never do something I cannot do. Like, you see, I'm not good at running. You will never catch me running. It has to be like life-threatening to catch me running.
Even when I was in like my most, like, for me, the fittest I've ever been,
I don't run. I don't
run.
I do it a little bit.
I do it a little bit because the gym obviously help, but I'm trying to steer away. Actually, shout out if anyone's listening to this and you're into health, listen to the Model Health Show. It's a podcast. So what I'm trying to do is they were really just going in on treadmills and how bad they are and how much of a waste of time they are. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to.
Yeah, you're running and getting over.
Pretty much, and so I'm trying to replace that with a whole bunch of cardio movements, like throw it in between my weight training and do different things. A little off tangent, but this is if you're into health, check out the Model Health Show. It's really interesting.
But that's what I'm telling you. See, like I know I'm not good at running, but I can outdance you in Zumba. So you'll catch me in a Zumba class. You will never catch me in a. I actually picked up spinning. Spinning is pretty fun. I guess I could pedal.
I did spinning like 3 times in my life. Those were like the sorest I've ever been.
Yeah, spinning is no joke, but it gets you really, really fit. But one thing I can tell you, I cannot run, so I'm not gonna run. But if I see somebody else that can run, I'm like, I'm so proud of them. I feel like I personally know them. I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I'm here for you. Like, do what you gotta do. But you will never catch me running. So, like, there's things that you just, if you know you can't do them and you know maybe it be that you don't like them, you can't beat yourself up for like, oh my God, I can't run. No, I can't run, but I can dance. Yeah, and I can outdance anybody. I can tell you that much.
That's good. And the fact that you embrace that, like I said, it's always going to kind of stick. So when you're thinking about what you're worth, you're going to remember it's going to be there. Because a lot of times we put those things on the back burner and we just put the flaws, like you said, in the front. We're just thinking about the flaws. We're just focusing on that. But if you embrace all those things that you are good at and the things that you're powerful and you're worthy of, when you're thinking about your worth, it's just going to pop up. It's just going to be there.
I have a few friends, a few good friends, and they all have qualities that I'm like, damn, those are some good qualities to have. Yeah. My best friend, we've been friends for 10 years, and, ups and downs, like every friendship. But she has this one quality that I'm just like, wow, like it just amazes me. She never holds a grudge. Never. I've never seen somebody not hold a grudge.
What sign is she?
She's an Aquarius. She doesn't hold grudges.
What month is that?
I want to say from end of January to somewhere in February.
Oh, so that's like
now. Yeah, that's now. It's happening. Yeah, we're in Aquarius.
it's here. As we were talking, it's Aquarius time.
Right. But she doesn't ever, she doesn't hold a grudge. Like, you'll never catch her holding a grudge. And that's amazing to me because I'm like, wow, I wish I can do that. Like, you don't stay, and she lives such a good life because it's like she doesn't hold a grudge. Like, she's not mad at anyone, And I think that's amazing. So, that's one thing that not everyone has. Because I'm trying my best to learn to not hold grudges. They're not healthy. So I'm trying my best, but
it is tough. I usually don't either. I mean, I never forget though.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I don't hold the grudge.
No, this girl's amazing. Like, this girl, you did something to her, you asked her to apologize, you probably take your apology, you should be right back. Like, nothing ever happened. I'm like, girl, how can you do that? Like, no.
So shout out to her, this mystery friend. Shout out to her. Maybe she'll be listening.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe, right?
I'll let her know that I spoke about her.
So when's her birthday?
Her birthday was January 28th.
28th.
Yeah.
Okay, so
the same day as my brother.
Oh, all right. Mm-hmm. So happy belated birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, what other things can we do to try to kind of find out our worth and to embrace that if we know our worth?
Spend time with yourself.
Okay.
You have to spend time with yourself. Sometimes we get scared of being alone.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever gone to watch a movie by yourself?
Yeah.
You see, so that's good. You spend time with yourself.
People probably think I'm weird.
No, there's nothing weird with that. Have you ever taken yourself out to dinner?
Yeah.
Good.
Shit, all the time.
And people do look at you weird. They're like, table for one. They're like, one? Yeah, me.
Yeah.
That's it. and sometimes they look at you like, I'm sorry about that. No, don't be sorry. This is me taking me out to dinner. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
I do it all the time. Not like a crazy plays, but no, I definitely, I've been single most of my life. I was in a relationship for like 4.5 years. But before that, after that, I've been single.
It even goes beyond that because you can go out to dinner with a friend.
Yeah, of course. But,
you know?
But still, I've gotten used to that, and I guess, I don't know, it does help. You're right. It does, because it kind of gets you used to, just doing things on your own, spending more time with yourself. You can do a lot more self-assessment and getting to know who you truly are.
Mm-hmm. Like I'm telling you, even in the car.
Some people won't do that shit.
They will never,
some
Will never. But you have to be realistic. When you shower, you're by yourself. When you're driving somewhere, you're by yourself. When you're alone and no one's in your company, you're by yourself. So you have to like spend that time. And you know how much I appreciate my time alone? My favorite thing to do in the world is be in my room by myself with my dog and drive. I love driving because when I'm driving, I can listen to whatever I want, as loud as I want. I can dance, I can do whatever. I don't care what anybody around me is thinking. Most of the time, people dance along with me. They can't believe I'm so happy by myself. And I'm a very happy person. I am. I don't depend on anybody else for my happiness because I just feel like, how can I give happiness if I don't have it within? So I think that spending time with yourself is crucial. Yeah. Absolutely crucial. Not only spending time with yourself, because that's the easy part, but enjoying that time.
See, me, I ain't gonna lie. I don't like being alone. Mm-hmm. And if I could, but I do enjoy my alone time, but I always rather do things with somebody else. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it makes sense.
It does make sense.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll go to movies alone and I'll do it because, life and shit. But I always rather go with somebody else.
And that's okay, because it's like, if it's every single time where you're like, oh, I'd rather go with somebody else. If you don't miss that time by yourself, then that can be a little bit of an issue, because sometimes you're like, oh, well, I just want to be alone. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be by yourself. And then there's going to be times where you're like, well, I wish I could go to the movies with a friend right now. Yeah. But you have to have a balance of knowing, okay, well, I can spend time with myself such and such day, and I can, and I think a lot of people are scared of spending time by themselves because sometimes we have too much in our mind and we don't confront those things that we're thinking about.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not every case.
Yeah, but a lot of times, because people like to just kind of brush it off. And also a lot of people, that's how they get into like abusing substances and doing shit like that. Mm-hmm. Because when they're alone, they can't stop thinking about all this other shit.
Right.
So
they start to rely on these substances or whatever it is as their friends. Pretty much, I heard people literally say food was my only friend. Yeah. Food wouldn't judge me, and that's why I would eat without being hungry. Mm-hmm. Things like that. And I'm like, damn, that's hard. Because I'm the type of person that if I feel something, I have to say it. Like, I have to say it. If not, I'll blow up. Oh my God, I won't. I have to talk to somebody. I have to say something. Like, somebody has to hear me out. And I've been lucky enough to have like people around me that I can vent to. And it's always great to have someone that's not going to judge you at all. Because if the person...
Therapy would have a degree.
Right.
We're plugging ourselves over here.
So...
But for real, everyone does need somebody. But at the end of the day, if you don't, because sometimes people don't, or sometimes you just don't feel comfortable talking with somebody about what's
Some people feel very comfortable. Funny story, this morning I went to get a bagel, and I just wanted to get a bagel. This lady, she asked me if I'm Dominican, and I was like, yeah, I'm Dominican, so I guess she had like a boyfriend that was Dominican, and she started telling me her whole life and why they broke up and why they didn't, and I'm like, girl, you don't know me, like, you're telling me all this. I mean, I didn't tell her that, but I thought it, and it's like, that's crazy. That's why. Right.
Because, like I said, that's a big part of why I even started this. And, like, as we go down the road, as we kind of want more people, like, just, talking to us straight up, like that straight up conversations. We've had a couple of them, but at the end of the day, that's because it was so easy for her. Because she didn't know you. Mm-hmm. You were able to leave. And guess what? She was never probably going to see you again. Right. No judgment. She just wants that. And also, you're not in her life. You're not in her circle. Mm-hmm. So she just wants that random opinion. Because she knows if you telling her this and you say the same thing her best friend is, she's going to know, okay, my best friend is a hater. My best friend is
right. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, that's mm-hmm. kind of how it is. So it could just help them. Like, but people love that perspective from someone that they have.
That unbiased opinion.
Yeah, it's just an unbiased opinion. Really, to me, I think it's a big help for a lot of people. It's just also that unbiased insight, because I could be telling you whatever, like just something, like this isn't good, or this is good. And just because, like, you know me, you're just gonna kind of not take it as seriously.
Right.
As someone on the random street just went up to you and say, yo, this isn't good.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, word?
This is all that isn't home.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? It's different. I don't know what it is with this therapy without a degree, so I don't know what, the details on it, but there has to be, some psychological reason to it. But it just is. And I mean, people, or, they might be wrong, but at least you still hear it. You still get that different perspective. And I think it kind of just open up, something. Like, even if I were to say one thing, I'd say that's yeah, right. Then you counteract it with the other opinion, and it might just say, no, I help you out.
Yeah, and it's crazy, because it talks about how unique the person is, because some people are really shy. They'll never talk about their issues. And when people come up to me and they feel like just telling me something or venting to me, I always tell them, like, you are one in a million. Mm-hmm. It's crazy to me that there's no two people with the same fingerprints in this world. Even family. That's how unique you are.
Yeah, it is wild.
If you really think about it, I'm like, wow, like, no two people in the world will have the same exact fingerprint at all. So that's how unique you are. So you have to have something that's worth gold for you to for you to be in this world and to walk on the surface of the earth and things like that. And sometimes I think, like, there's people my age that have passed away. So I don't want to go around the world taking advantage of what I deserve and things like that. And I always tell that to people around me, like, you have to know you're unique. And I work in an industry where people will sit there and talk to me about their issues. I'm not only a makeup artist, I'm a therapist.
Yeah, of course. No, you're right, yeah, because it's the same shit, like, it's like a barber.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Like I said, with you for a while, like I said, they kind of just venting to you. It's definitely.
You build a connection with the person. And I have had girls sit in my chair that have no love for themselves until they see themselves with makeup on. Yeah. And I always focus, because, like I'm telling you again, because I have this self-love, I'm able to recognize beauty in everybody else as well. And I tell them all the time, if I see a pretty girl in the street, I'm like, girl, you're so pretty. Oh my God, you look really good. I love your eyes. Or I love this. I don't ever mind telling someone that they look good. Ever. I can't sit here and be like, wow, I look bad. No, because she's her and I'm me. She's going to have her own beauty. I'm going to have my own beauty. And it's about me, taking my light and making her shine and her doing the same towards me. Because some people really, all they need is that. Mm-hmm. I lived in New York City in a place where people walk around and they don't smile often. Mm-hmm. And from a young age, I always made myself a goal. I'm like, whenever someone sees me on the train and they just stare at me, I'm going to smile at them. Mm-hmm. Funny enough, one day I was getting on the train and I just smiled at this person and she rolled her eyes. I'm like, well, damn, girl, good morning to you too.
She was like, what the fuck?
But then she looked at me again and I smiled at her again.
Did she smile back?
And we got off at the same stop. And she said, it's crazy because you smiled at me the second time around. She's like, I was having the toughest morning on earth. And you made my day because it's like, I gave you an attitude and you still managed to smile at me, I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, I really wanted to roll my eyes again too, but you didn't do nothing to me, so there was no need. But it's crazy that there's people that really walk around the world and they're not really nice to each other at all. And in a way, it kind of ties in as well to self-worth, because I feel like once you, again, love yourself, you'll be able to cultivate that same thing around other people. You'll be able to plant that seed, like that self-love. I have hope in people. I think I have too much hope in the human race.
I kind of, me too, I think.
Maybe I'm too optimistic. It's just too much.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Well, it's a pro and a con if you really think about it.
Why?
Because sometimes, how do I explain this to you? Like, just sometimes people will let you down at times, And to me, I don't really try to think about it as much. I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. Everybody goes through their own situation. And I do believe there's really, really good people in the world. And I believe there's bad ones as well. But I like to think that there's a little bit more good people than there is bad.
No, I believe that. I believe it's high. A really good high percentage.
Yeah, like a lot of good people out there. You know, it's crazy to think about it. Well, the crazy things that are going on in our world. But I feel like if you have a little bit of self-love, the world will be a little bit more positive. You won't walk around so angry.
There's a lot of people that walk around here really, really angry.
Yeah, they don't even know what they're mad at. Yeah, a lot of people get on the bus and they're mad because the bus driver is driving slow and they're going to be late. Well, maybe if you would have gotten up a little earlier and you would have taken the earlier bus, you would have been okay. I read this book called No Excuses by Brian Tracy. And I feel like he hits on that topic of self-love and self-worth. And just taking responsibility for your actions and taking responsibility for your life. And I think that's an awesome book to read as well.
What's the book?
It's called No Excuses by Brian Tracy.
No Excuses?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You should definitely.
What does he get into?
He gets into just success, being successful in your career, whatever it is that you're doing, but he hits on all the topics that you need to know in order to be successful. Mm. And it's crazy how much it goes back to like self-love, self-worth, taking responsibility for your own actions and things like that. I really did love the book. I read it I banged it out within 2 days.
No Excuses. I'm have to see if they have an audio version.
Yeah, I know you're anti-reading. So.
I mean, reading is cool, but I mean, if I could listen to it, I get it done way faster.
Yeah. I'm sure that they have something like that.
They probably have it. Alright. So basically knowing your worth, we basically went over, it can help you out, probably business-wise, you know, because you could definitely start kind of making more money. You know, with that, like I said, what you could do is you could just start showing why you're worth that, at least in your current workplace, because maybe they don't see it. So try to set up a plan to implement that and to show what you're worth, right? And if that doesn't work, then you can make a plan on trying to find out something better to where you're going to get, you know, whatever your value is, whatever you feel like that you are worth, because it is attainable. Like whatever you feel like your number is, I think you can really get there. Whatever your realistic number is, you have to think realistically. Whatever that number is, you can do that. And let's just say for job wise, if they don't have that, if they don't have that hourly pay, if that job isn't there, create it. If that opportunity isn't there, create it. Create your own business. Okay, and figure out, okay, this is what I'm worth. I'm going to get that. You know, like you could do it. It may not happen in 2-3 years. It may be like a 5-year plan. You're doing your own business, but in that, you're basically putting in all your work. So your work is going to in turn get you to where what you're worth. So that's at least for business. Then we talked about for the relationships. Too, you have to know, like, every day that goes by, we never get any of these days back. Mm-hmm. So you're just wasting your time being comfortable. If you know you're worth more than this person, that the love they're giving you, how they're treating you, everything, make changes. It's hard, but it's your life. You're only gonna get this life once.
That's right.
You ain't gonna get it back. You ain't gonna get these days back. So you just have to really, really kind of just self-assess, know your worth.
Self-assess. Be realistic to yourself. Where can I do better? Or what am I good at? You love yourself. What else did we talk about?
Well, that's for business and that's for love. Anything else? Do you think that knowing your worth really has to kind of come into play? Like we said, relationships with all things, through family, through everybody, through friendships.
I think that covers like all aspects of life.
Yeah, all the different views, but you just have to try to always remember. Don't forget about it, because you never want to be devalued. Mm-hmm. And I think in turn, once you start really knowing your worth and embracing your worth, and also if you feel like you're not worth much and you honestly can't come up with anything more, let's figure out how we can improve things. Mm-hmm. Let's just say things you feel like you could definitely be worth more.
Make a list.
Whatever. Yeah.
What are you good at?
Yeah. Like I said, make your list of those good things and those flaws, and see what we can work out. See if those good things, if we can make those better. Same thing at your job. If you feel like, I think maybe I'm not worth too much more. I'm worth this $7.50 an hour, $8 an hour, or whatever. Like, attend the Wings and Visions event, or just
Veggies and Visions.
Veggies and Visions for our vegetarians. Yeah. That's what me and Jen did one time. When we did ours, it was a Veggies and Visions. I gotta make an artwork for that to shout that out. That's pretty funny. But not for real. Like, just try to figure out ways that you could improve, whatever you're doing in life, even your relationship. Let's just say you're on the other side of it, because that could be it too. The other person could feel like they're worth more.
And I feel like when people hear relationships, sometimes they tend to think right away romantically. No, it could be with the mother, with your brothers, with your friends, with anybody. It's just any relationship that you feel like right now you need and you're not getting exactly what you want from it.
Exactly. So feel like, you could be on that other side as well. Someone could be saying that maybe, they're worth more. So just try to figure out maybe what you're doing that's causing them to think that way, and it goes back to self-assessment.
Right. So I think that's the very beginning of self-worth, is self-assessment, and then self-love.
Yeah. Well, I actually have written down, because I'll tell you after we record, but I'm so big on self-assessment that I have something coming in the near future. I'll tell you about that after. But, other than that was really, really dope.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you dropped some gems.
I try.
I try. She got a health makeup podcast coming to you guys soon.
Oh.
Imagine that though. What if they all hit you up? Like, yo, we want those makeup tips.
Yeah, I mean, I don't ever mind giving out tips. What I've learned, makeup is an art. Not everyone's right. There's no real right way to do it. There is an easier way to do it and things like that. But I don't know if I could come into a podcast. But we'll see.
Why not though?
We'll see.
I'm just saying, why not?
I don't know. That's a good question. There's really no reason why not, but we'll see.
Exactly. It's like 2 hours out of
your But like a makeup podcast, like
that sounds like
just hear my voice and do as I say. That's weird. That's so weird.
Not necessarily do, but like it's all part of thinking bigger. Like literally, you could be giving them education on it. You don't have to be telling them, like, you could explain to them, not say, like, okay, right now.
But don't you think makeup is something like visual?
Yes and no. Both. I think it could be both.
Mm-hmm.
You don't necessarily have to some people, they love it so much that they would want to be in the car driving and getting education on it so when they go home, because not all the time everybody can watch it. So there's times, and I guarantee, because it's a whole huge industry.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things that you can definitely feed people without having to show them.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can monetize off that.
Mm-hmm.
So, look at it. She's getting veggies and visions right here without the veggies. So
some veggies wouldn't be bad though.
Hey, I got the veggies in the freezer. I'll break them out.
No, it's okay.
I'll break them out. Tonight's Wednesday, right?
That's right. Tonight's Wednesday.
But yeah, other than that, thank you for coming by.
Thank you for
Shout out to Sephora.
Again.
Yeah, you guys
thank you for sponsoring my lifestyle, guys.
What up, Jen? What's going on? We got another Jen in the building.
Hi, Jen.
What up, Jen? So we were just doing veggies and visions. Nah, we were actually just closing up the episode. And shout out to Clutch every day. What up, Anthony? We were just doing this podcast on Know Your Worth. I think it was really, really dope. So it'll probably be out this Monday. So check it out. Also, I want to say big shout out to our sponsor, Drive Smart, Buy Smart. You ever heard of Drive Smart, Buy Smart?
Never.
Never heard of it? Why not?
No, I never heard of it.
Now, what they are is basically they're an auto broker, and what they do is they get you car at the wholesale price. So, because basically, because you went to the Honda for that car, right? You went to Honda, what did they sell it to you? For how much?
I leased.
Okay.
So it was a little different.
What was your total price of the lease?
How much I pay monthly?
Yeah. What do you pay? What was the first number?
Oh, I fought my way through that one. I paid $199 a month.
But you thought you had to fight them, right?
I didn't really fight them. I had to negotiate, because I didn't have credit like that.
You had to negotiate. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously the first number was a lot higher, right?
Yes.
So
$300. I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, and it was a brand new car, but still, no.
Of course. So what these people do at Drive Smart, Buy Smart, they're actually, since they're just an auto broker, they're technically not able to add any additional money on the car.
No way.
So you just get the car for the car's price. Whatever that car really is, because all that extra money, that just goes to the dealership, that goes to all that shit, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
So what these people do, they actually just find you that car, and they just make the money off the service. So basically, let's just say you go to Honda, right, and this car for really $15,000, they make that car $19,000. And they capitalize on that.
Right, of course. Mm-hmm.
And then it's up to you to hustle them a little bit, this and that. With these people, you just got the car for $15,000, you pay them a small fee just to actually do the paperwork.
Wow.
So it's wholesale prices. You really can't beat that. It's basically right next to getting a car at auction. Have you ever heard that?
Mm-hmm.
You get cars at auction.
I've been to auctions.
But a lot of times to purchase a car from the auction, you need to be a dealer.
Right.
So 9 times out of 10, you can't buy at auction. So basically, the next step is to go to an auto broker. So you can check them out. Their website is Drive Smart, Buy Smart. Check them out. Really, really dope. If you want to get a car, if you're looking for a car. Also, let's say even you have a car right now and you're trying to get a better price, hit them up to possibly see what they can do about you. Who else is on the live? Shout out to Bumbo. Shout out to Bumbo809. That's a legit username.
Bumbo809.
Also, something we do at the end of this podcast is, I don't know if you know, if you listen, but we usually at the end just give a shout out to something you think is dope. It could be a song, it could be something you eat, something that maybe the people are listening to that they don't know about, that you would want to put them on. A TV show, anything, a book.
I don't know.
Right?
What?
I'll give you a minute tonight.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Just anything?
Whatever. Anything that you think is dope that you would want to put them on to. A podcast, a TV show, a song, a restaurant, anything, a brand new makeup, like anything. Anything that you think is really, really dope, I'll give you a minute to think about it. Because we also got another sponsor, a really, really cool sponsor. It's called Easy Life Affordable Cleaning. Now, I don't know if you guys heard about this one. This one's the real deal, okay? This is basically, it's a new cleaning business in northern New Jersey. Okay, they also work out of Connecticut, Pennsylvania, and New York. It's basically just regular home cleaning, but at the best and the most affordable prices. Can't beat that. Because obviously we all want to live like the rich, but we all can't. So what this company does is they actually lower their prices that real regular people can afford it. You know, you get your house cleaned. If you're moving out, you just need like a nice move out clean. You know, spring is coming. If you need your backyard cleaned up, you got that. Snow removal, all that type of stuff. So check them out. They're on Instagram and Facebook. It's called Easy Life Cleaning on Instagram and everywhere else. I believe just Easy Life Affordable Cleaning. And yes, she does. She does makeup.
I do.
Yeah.
Follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is Jen B.
She already is, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, she's following me.
Yeah, I think I'm following her back.
Yeah, because actually our other sponsor featured you guys. Look at that.
Ooh.
JP Media.
Oh, okay. Yes.
JP Media featured. So that's another really, really dope company, too. I don't know if you guys heard about them, called JP Media. They're a brand new marketing agency. Okay. So check them out. They do social media. They do graphics. They do printing.
I was not expecting that from them. That was really nice.
Yeah, that was really, really dope. Mm-hmm. Set that up. But no, she does makeup. So we talked about that in the beginning. I asked Sephora to hook us up with a sponsorship. So maybe they'll do that. I also asked Louis. Louis, that'd be bomb if you could hook it up with a sponsorship as well too. So that would really be dope. So anything you think you might want to shout out?
I don't know, but one thing I don't know. I really don't know because I am so like behind in time.
Right. Just anything that the last time you were like, oh, it was cool. Or something you bought at the grocery store, food, anything.
I get hooked on things. What am I hooked on right now? What am I hooked on right now at this moment? I think I'm hooked on anything. Oh yeah. Yes. Oh my God.
See?
Starbucks has this amazing tea. Oh my God, I love it.
What kind of tea?
It's a Teavana tea. I usually order Passion Tango with lemonade and sweetened with raspberry.
Passion Tango.
Yeah, it's delicious. Delicious, I tell you.
I think I've heard about it. Wait, hold on. I think we might have another little segment for you. Someone wants Makeup 101.
No way.
Yeah, they want Makeup 101. That's what they want. They want Makeup 101. So what's one tip?
Mm-hmm.
That's your issue.
Well, I am going to give some classes next month coming up.
Okay.
I'm not taking a lot of girls for the first classes.
Is that out of your own business?
Yeah, this is out of my own business. It has nothing to do with Sephora. This is all me. I'm going to be teaching a class on my tips and tricks on, that I've learned along the way and things like that. So, I'm going to have a model there. We're going to have a good time. I'm going to bring some wine for my girl.
Hey, she's a model.
Yeah, maybe she could be a model. And I'm not taking too many girls, but I'm thinking about having a few sessions. So yeah, I just haven't came up with an exact date, but as soon as I have that, I'm always going to tell you so you can tell your friends.
Okay.
But I'm always going to put it on my Instagram. So if she follows me, she'll see it there.
But what's one tip right now you could drop some gems? One tip.
Blend. Don't ever not blend. You have to blend. No matter how bad something looks, if it's blended, you'll make it bar.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, you heard it here first. Blend.
Blend.
Just blend. I don't know what it is. Just blend.
It's just blending. That's exactly what it is. When you try to make two things go together without any harsh lines.
Do that? Like that?
Yeah, but a lot of people really don't.
Common sense. I mean,
yeah, but a lot of people don't do it.
You're supposed to put like red over here, blue over here, and not mix them a little bit in the middle.
You have to blend.
Exactly. It's like painting.
Yeah, and always when you're looking for the perfect foundation, the best place to match is either your chest or your neck. Mm. That's always going to make you look all the same.
It's going to make you look all the same?
Yes.
Why? Where do people normally do it?
Some people like to do it just on their face, and that's okay too. Especially if you have like discoloration. We can go into a whole new topic with this. But my best advice is always to just the chest or the neck. Some people have their necks a little lighter than their face. Sometimes it's a little darker. So the neck can get a little tricky. But if you look like your chest, you're going to look okay. You'll be okay, yeah.
All right. Sounds good to me. My shout out is going to be just that last one we just kind of covered, the JP Media. It's really, really dope. It's a business. It's actually, I'll let you guys know, it's my business as well as with somebody else. So, doing all the website design, graphic design, getting people Instagram followers, guaranteeing at least 30 followers a day. 30 followers a day, that's
a lot, yeah.
That's a lot when you add that shit up over a period of time. Graphics, posts, like I said, doing complete websites, all different type of branding, t-shirts if you want, like I have, watch with the live, a t-shirt with your logo on it, we're printing the t-shirts, getting you the t-shirts, basically doing all type of branding shit. So the website's actually going to be up a couple of days. I'll put the links below. Follow it on Instagram. It's _JP Media. We got the Wins and Visions every Wednesday. Okay. So if you want to sign up for that, she did hers. She did the Veggies and Visions. Also, the latest event that I just released, I don't know if you saw it, it's every Sunday. So we have our Wins and Visions / Veggies and Visions on Wednesdays. Okay. But I started up a new event, brand new. It's on Sundays. I call it Parenting Goals.
Oh, I saw this, yes.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. What did you think about when you first?
It was good, yeah. I think it's smart because, I don't even can use it.
So basically saying we got a lot of shitty parents out. That's what she's basically saying.
I did not say that, but I just said some people could really use the services.
You gotta put some of those sauce on it, alright?
I just talked about how dramatic I am and I'm trying to fix that.
I'm trying to fix the dramatic. No, that's some real shit though. It's called Parenting Goals. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I have teachers that teach in the local area. So what they're going to do is one big thing a lot of people are liking is that I'm actually, let's say you have a kid, you have a 5-year-old, and you're telling me that he's struggling in math, he's struggling with division, right? I actually have these teachers that are going to help me with like an actual plan. So if you tell me he's bad at this type of division, whatever, they're going to help come up with like a game plan on it, and workbooks and activities and things we can do to help them out. Okay, so that's one thing, because a lot of times these schools, they don't give a fuck, right? And also they give you just different type of shit, so you have something else to try. So the educational shit is just really, really dope. I mean, that's just something that you might get somewhere else, you might not, or sometimes you might feel awkward to ask.
Right.
I feel like that's a lot of times.
Or you don't know where to ask. Yeah,
you don't know where to ask. Or like I said, a lot of times people are just awkward, like asking their teachers and shit like that. So, or even if you are, you're just going to get different content. Because different content always helps. So let's just say you're already going to an after-school program and already getting some help. A little extra help
doesn't hurt them, yeah.
Because it's for free. I'm not charging anything. Right. So literally, if you just tell me, that they need a little bit of assistance with this, I'm going to get you a packet to help them out. Also, some emotional support, just different tips that I have from my experience just growing up in life. So emotional support. Also, the biggest one, too, is the couples, not the couples, the people who are separated, the meetups. So let's just say you have a kid and you have a baby father and you and him are not together anymore, but y'all can't really come to good terms. I want us to actually all sit down, the three of us. Because why can't we? Why does it have to come to court? Why does it have to go through visitation, all that bullshit? Why does it have to get there? Mm-hmm. I mean, you never know. Maybe it does. Maybe there's a certain point where it does. But I feel like, why don't we give it a shot and see if we can do it in person? We're all humans at the end of the day. And I'm not saying I'm the one perfect, but you never know. Sometimes you might need that extra ear, that extra voice to maybe help you communicate it, because maybe the dude thinks you're crazy. Maybe he thinks you're bugging, you know what I mean? And shit, he may be right, or he may be wrong.
Right.
You know, but sometimes maybe it might help, like we were talking about earlier, just a different perspective, and it might help things. You know, sometimes you kind of need that person.
Some pretty cool stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, so it's just regular shit. You know, it's just regular meetups. You know, we're gonna try to get together and try to make it happen. Why? You know, you don't need a court order for a visitation. So if you feel like you gotta fix that visitation, let them know about the program. Let them know just some regular people. Ain't gonna fucking try to lock them up or try to do all this crazy shit. Also, you know, talk child support too. Why does it have to be everything all, you know, crazy legal and you know, all the intention and all that? We can just kind of come up with some shit regular.
Right.
Okay. And the last part with that event, with the parenting goals event, is ways and tips and tricks to kind of get these kids engaged a little bit more into like sports and physical activity. You know, different things I have, like I said, also from the teachers I know, they gave me a couple of things as well. And just some regular shit to just kind of get these kids a little bit more out there, you know, not so on the phone, not so on the iPads. Because now, I mean, not necessarily just into sports, because some kids are just not into sports, but there's something just to get them a little bit more active.
Right.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So, we got that as well.
Perfect.
And other than that, that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you for everyone watching on the live. Thank you for listening. And check us out. That's about it. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
Like your style.
Thanks.
And now we out. Peace.
Bye. Toodles.
Adios. And that was cool. I like it. Save that up for a little bit, then I delete it.
So with this one, you stop it and then you edit it?
Yeah. It is. I'm not gonna edit too much.